Wounded American boys being treated in the field. A rifle stock makes an emergency splint. Frontline surgery. Not a pretty sight, but this is the stern reality. This is the inevitable cost of war. The cost of fighting and destroying an army as technically powerful, as totally equipped for global murder as the Nazis.
Welcome once again, J76NY here, and we are looking at Nickle Company. What can you say about Nickle Company? We are going to be continuing the trials of Nickle Company in Burden of Command, minus Jay. Jay was killed in the last episode. If you're not familiar with this game, it's a tactical leadership RPG. You have a character. This is now my new character. It's Acting Captain Unnamed. Jay got killed in the last episode. He got killed because Lieutenant Rao, down here, refused to obey orders and send his men forward to assist in the tank digging in operation. So Jay had to come out and lead Rao's men on his own, and he was killed. So now we have Acting Captain Unnamed. I think I can edit the name here. I can. Sweet. All right, so Acting Captain Unnamed. Replacing Jay. That's Acting Captain Silent Bob. If you get the reference, you get the reference. Let's give him another picture. There we go. Cigar smoking Silent Bob. I guess he gets Jay's mindset. So there we go. All right. So Silent Bob's now in charge of Nickle Company. Nickle Company is in rough shape here. We have combat fatigue out the ass. We have casualties. This squad and this squad are virtually wiped out. So we are going to, I guess we're not going to do anything at all about the combat fatigue here. More reasons why. Well, no R&R possible at this sign. Assign rest and recuperation behind the lines. And how the hell do you do that? I guess you don't. Well, that's not good. That is not good. That means these guys are stressed out and probably not going to follow orders. So, reduce casualty by 1 at a cost of 3 prestige. 1 replacement. I've got 4 replacements available. Outstanding. Reduces casualty by 1 at a cost of 1 replacement. Okay. Well, this is unfortunate. We can reduce their stress. At least. Anyone else stressed out? I do have to replace some of these guys. I mean, I only have 4, so 3 prestige. I got the prestige. So I'm going to do 2 here and 2 here. And that's the replacements I've got. So, all right. All right. Well, Silent Bob, take your men into battle. Continue the campaign and take the fight to those Germans. All right. The engine of the DUKW, the Duck, roars as it races towards Anzio Beach. Good thing, too, because shells arc overhead as the Germans take the transport in the bay under fire. This is a hell of a war. Your teeth rattle as your ride drives. A lurch follows as wheels gouge the sand. The vehicle claws its way onto the land as oncoming rounds send a massive plume of water skyward. Soldiers disembark in the lee of a little white house. Nearby, row upon row of bodies have been bagged and stacked. A man in navy dungarees, khaki service cap, and a petty officer's chevrons halts the rush of soldiers with only his clipboard. He sorts out the enlisted ranks like a wheat thresher before getting to you. Welcome to Anzio, Captain. May I see your orders? In the distance, artillery booms. These are my orders. I see you are to report to Lieutenant Colonel Heinz. Yes, of course. Can you confirm you are with 3rd Battalion, 7th Infantry Regiment? Petty officer asks, as if he already knows the answer. I guess this is playing me out. Playing Silent Bob out to take command of Nickle Company. And thus, your command begins. I just realized every single person in my thumbnails for these videos is dead, including myself. What do you want? The driver asks. Glance at his sleeve, finds a lot of stripes with a diamond in the middle. First Sergeant. Salute, First Sergeant, or I will bust you to a stripe. I'll wait patiently. First Sergeant finally finishes the cigarette and salutes. Sorry, Captain. Rough day. Navy Petty Officer gives you a little nod and returns to his duty, leaving you and First Sergeant behind the Jeep. I'm First Sergeant Grant, 3rd Battalion, 7th Infantry. And I'm the new company commander. I'm Nickle's new CO. Okay. Captain, he says, then takes a moment to perfunctorily examine the orders. I better take you directly there. I know how this works. Army is in my blood. Commission set to regular Army. I'm recently commissioned. 90-day wonder. I'm a reservist. You can go regular Army. Parents are proud. Home front set to parents. Sweetheart. Home front set to wife and child. We'll go with wife and child. Now I will defend my country by defeating Germany. Why do we fight? Set to defend. Now I will do my duty. Drafted. Now I will do my duty. So that I can fight and win. So that I can advance my career. So that I can go home. There we go. You return to the company billet and find it bustling with activity. Nearby, a platoon of men drills on an open field. Nearby, an army donkey watches from the shade. Your tent is right next to the chow hall. The clatter of mess kit is a familiar one, even the other side of the world. Lieutenant at the end of the line catches your eye. He's a rangy, clean-shaven boy who looks far too young for the weariness of his eyes. I almost wish they would have let me promote one of my dudes. First Sergeant Grant gestures towards the clean-shaven officer. This is Lieutenant Thompson. He's almost as new as you. Well, Thompson isn't really all that new. I mean, he's seen a lot of frickin' action. Just before Sicily, I joined. I'll be brief. I'll keep this short. Now we could gab all day. We'll talk further after this. I'm going to have him be a chatterbox. But let's get to the point. No sense beating around the bush. That's directness 10, directness 7. There's something we need to confront, directness 5. There have been changes recently. I'm one of them. Let's not remind the men that Jay just got plastered. This company has had difficulties. It has. I aim to command you. I will be firm and fair. I will do what needs doing. Last captain was a screw-up. Well, fuck you, man. You're gonna have a bad time, and I'm it. I will be firm and fair. We'll do that. You look out at them. When their last captain bought the farm, they fell apart. You will have to introduce your own brand of leadership to keep that from happening again. General Patton believes in audacity. So do I. Choose a primary mindset from doctrine, idealism, zeal, or cunning. Compassion, doctrine, idealism. Professionalism, discipline, caution, and compassion. We must outtrain, outplan, and outfight the enemy. We'll go with that one. Logistics and supply will be set. Let's see. Discipline. Our men must obey orders instantly or more will die. Row. Yeah, of course. Oh, fuck. Right there. Right there. Dick. The nod that follows is a simple one. Rouse combat fatigue down 10. Just so long as we also kill Krauts. Stern gets 10 combat fatigue. There's a lot you could tell these men, but there isn't time. A few carefully chosen slogans we'll have to do. We have 5 points left to distribute. There's always another way. Find it. Cunning advances gains combat fatigue plus 10. Professionalism advances 10 on the combat fatigue. Realism. Discipline advances. Patience is rewarded. We're going to go with discipline. Just because I want this guy to be a little different than Jay, I'm going to play him a little different than Jay. We're going to be a little more badass, hard edge, whatever you want to call it. That and it didn't give me any combat fatigue. When someone shouts at you to take cover, you can't weigh the merits of the suggestion. You have 4 points. I gotta pick more. I don't want to pick more. We are not a militia, we are army men. Okay. The Minutemen didn't have discipline, but they didn't have to fight tanks and warplanes. I will look after the men when possible. Realism, we'll go with that one. There's always another way, find it. There we go. Morale is to material 3-1. Figuring how to get enough of both is the trick. A plan is better than no plan, except when it isn't. Okay. So we got 20 combat fatigue and +2 on the realism. You've reached the limit of mere slogans and look to Sergeant Grant. Okay.
We wanted payback for Cisterna, for the guys we lost, for those damn months of hell.
March 44, Anzio. The weeks wear on. Through grinding days and cold nights, the field work begins to sprawl. Nickle Company men scour the earth with their shovels to cut trenches where they can move, safe from bullets and searching binoculars of German artillery spotters. Fighting is nothing like you expected. Just as you were getting a handle on things, a new order arrives from battalion that pulls you back from the lines a little while longer. Conditions at Anzio resemble the period of trench warfare on the Western Front during World War I. Near Battalion CP, you catch, I wonder who that is, Major Rawson, former CO 3rd Battalion. There we go. Catch sight of a former commander, an officer who could have left the mud and trenches behind now that he has a perch at regiment. Major Rawson might be ankle deep in mud again, but there's a hint of good humor in his eyes. Captain? Your headquarters staff listen in with one ear, reserving the other for the crack and terror of a sniper shot. I thought your company could use some good news. The 135th is going to be taking over this part of the line. On the evening of March 26-27th, the 135th Infantry Regiment of the 34th Infantry Division relieved the 7th Regiment, and they went into an underground rest area of sort, a torn-up forest of spindly pine trees. Let me guess, they want us in the Pacific. Are we leaving the beachhead? A change count sounds good, but I'm cautious. Or yes, sir. Skip ahead to the training segment. Okay. Rawson returns your salute. He heads off back to Corps. A few more days and then the relief. Specifically, the planned relief in place is set for a brief period of deep dusk. Nickle Company will leave at 1930 hours. Summon my officers to the CP. Rao is already in the CP submitting immaculate paperwork concerning 2 men wounded in action earlier. First platoon is all but giddy about the move. Several men pace and chatter excitedly about as dusk gathers. They say there's no place like home. After these past few weeks, I can't disagree. Attorney has everything set up for 3rd Platoon to make the last handoff outpost. The 135th is setting in nicely, I think. At least the Germans haven't given us gruff. Okay. Stern makes sure to give the Germans a bit of send-off, firing a volley of rounds at an outpost he discovered by making a sunset observation. Nickle Company reaches the Pines by a slow, worrisome march. There needs to be physical conditioning, weapons, tactical training, introduction or replacements, and more. Your enlisted men might just be happy enough that they're not being shot at, not to mention getting clean uniforms, hot meals, and showers. Hopefully this does something for our combat fatigue. Also, you can schedule a movie night. Thompson is actually doing pretty well despite the months of hard fighting. Rao's steel spine is under a lot of strain. Turney has started a book club, though he probably should have started with something more accessible than the screw tape letters or the fragile knife. Turney doesn't get any stress. Stern gets medium stress because he wants to get back out and kill Germans. The schedule will be intense. There are only 2 weeks to get both the battle-hardened veterans and fresh replacements in shape for the inevitable breakout offensive. First Sergeant Grant reads over the criteria and glances up at you. Well, sir, they've arranged tactical training with flamethrowers and urban assault classes. Add in General Truscott's usual trotting, and we'll have our hands full. Every officer will have to do his utmost. Let's add a flamethrower. Test total cunning. Squad gains a little XP. Intense urban assault training is paramount. Add a bazooka team. Test doctrine. Squad gains XP. Possible combat fatigue. Physical conditioning. Possible officer combat fatigue. Test compassion. Squad gains some XP. I want the bazooka team. Your men get put through the ringer with making assaults on built-up positions. In particular, they get a crash course on mouse holding using TNT set to wood frames and laid against walls to knock holes in the sides of buildings. The entire company gains 15 XP. Fantastic. The week sweeps past under the hard routine. Saturday, still so much work. As dawn hits the beachhead, First Sergeant Grant brews up a pot of what the headquarters staff jokingly referred to as trench coffee. It's hard to say why they chose that name, but it could be for the color, smell, or taste. This is the only thing that keeps me sane. The smell alone will be enough to keep sleep at bay. I'm going to go with that. Gotta love good cup of coffee, even if it is sludge. Either the first cup would be the weakest, so you let other people get that swill. Corporal Sobieski has his naturalization ceremony today. They will be assembling on the beach at 0800 before the haze lifts. Word is that there's more than 30 going to take the oath. I think I'll go and applaud him. We should let him know we appreciate him. That's good, but not my concern. Let him know we appreciate him. He returns from the ceremony, salutes with vigor. Corporal Sobieski, citizen, reporting for duty, Capitan. Prestige +1, trust +10. 7 days of labor make 1 week, and Sunday is a day of rest, or a half day of rest for the men. First Sergeant Grant catches your eye as he blah 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 plan. I'm going to eat a big dinner and watch a movie. Reduce some stress and combat fatigue. Bonus later. No rest for the wicked. There's drinking and cards in my future. Reduce a lot of combat fatigue penalty later. I'm going to water ski in the bay. Combat fatigue minus 20. Reduce some stress and combat fatigue. We'll do that. I had a terrible way to pass a half a Sunday. I used to do the same thing. Combat fatigue minus 10. Quiet evening at the Anzio Ritz, the best underground cinema in Italy. You relax and watch Cary Grant. Later that evening, First Sergeant Grant lets you know that the company has been doing. Half a day of rest seems to have done wonders for the enlisted. Thompson's combat fatigue minus 40. Yay. Thompson readily enjoys his quiet time. Rao's combat fatigue minus 10. Rao couldn't unclench if he had dysentery. Turney's combat fatigue minus 30. This is exactly what I needed. Stern's combat fatigue minus 10. Tried to set up a football game, but it got ruined. Sorry, Stern. George Biddle. Nickle Company settles back in at the front. Aside from more crap in the foxholes and mud in the trenches, only one thing has changed. The rising wail of incoming artillery shrieks like a freight train. Your men scatter into the trenches. The screams end. The ground lurches beneath you. The earthen walls of the trench crumble. Your boots sink deep into the muck. Anzio Annie, the queen of the German armor, is throwing quarter-ton shells again. 280 millimeter railgun. Holy crap. This particular image comes from the West Front in May of 1918. Bunder's Archive. That's a big-ass gun. Actually, two 28-centimeter K5 guns shelling the Allied beachhead, Anzio, the Robert, and the Leopold. They built 25 of them. There's nothing I can do about this. Skip to the scenario. Possible change to trust, prestige, and combat fatigue. Head out and reassure the men. Okay. First Sergeant Grant falls in behind you, his heavy boots splashing along the spring mud. Sounds like Anzio Annie hitting your first platoon. Think maybe it missed them? Let's hope so. So much for German precision. Maybe we'll read about it in the papers. There's nothing good to say. We'll read about it in the papers. That'd be a treat. I mean, seems like no one is paying attention to us except the Germans. News from around the world trickles to Nickle Company by way of dozens of papers. The British stuff is all but unreadable. English might... Speaking of the British, they announced that they are coming out with the DLC for this game, where you can play British Paras, American Airborne, or German. You can play the Germans. Might check that out at some point. Let's see. Russia's pushed the Germans into Romania, and American forces are cartwheeling across the Pacific, bypassing Japanese strongholds. You round the bend and find a squad from 1st Platoon at work with their spades, digging out a half-buried private. Quick count tells you that they're all accounted for despite the size of the round, and strangely, only a few are focused on their injured fellow. They hit the pot, and when the hooch was getting good. Okay. Trench isn't deep enough to offer any protection from snipers, so they don't stand up. Why do they call the gun Anzio Andy, Captain? There's a lot of reasons. Ask your first sergeant, ask your lieutenant for the Hayes Code answer. There's a lot of reasons. Some like to call it Anzio. Some sounds like ex-girlfriend because she screams when she comes. That, absolutely. What a set of lungs on her. Grant taps his watch. Next round coming. Give the orders to scatter. That way even Anzio Annie can't kill an entire squad. That terrible incoming whale. Nothing. No earth-shattering kaboom. It was a dud. That hasn't happened before. You arrive at 3rd Platoon to find that Lieutenant Turney has already pulled his men back. Looks like even the Germans can screw up. But better clean this up. Could end up being a literal time bomb. Decide what to do about the unexploded shell. By the book, read digging the entire trench line in the Army way. Of course, this isn't the first piece of unexploded ordnance out there. Send for a recovery team. Even chance of casualties and trust -20. Send for a disposal team. Plan to detonate the shell. Let sleeping shells lie. Combat fatigue -20. Slight chance of heavy casualties. Redig the entire trench line. Dawn breaks with the sound of rolling thunder. American guns light up the skies. They rake German positions with fire and steel. Long last, the breakout begins. An hour later, Nickle Company, 3rd Battalion, the whole of 7th Regiment, all of 3rd Division, and the entirety of 6th Corps swing into attack. The focus advance gives way to frenzied action as 3rd Battalion gets hung up in the minefields, wire counter bombardments, and a murderous spat of friendly fire. Thankfully, Nickle Company is spared the worst of it. Even so, the company medics are working overtime, but finally, Cisterna, the seat of so many troubles, the town that swallowed the Rangers, lies before you. After a spectacular sunset, Major Ramsey, 3rd Battalion, XO, drops in the shell hole that presently serves as your command post. Captain, he says with remarkable calm, 2nd Battalion storming Cisterna tonight. You and Nickle Company are going with them. I know you've got it in you. You have to. Everyone else is way under strength. Well, what the hell do you think I am? God. He pulls out a map of Cisterna and shows you the axis of advance. Right through the center of town. Go forward, get in, get it done. With bayonets if you have to. If we can't take Cisterna, we'll never reach Rome. Yes, sir. Any support? Trust +10. There'll be artillery and tanks, maybe the flamethrowers we were promised. How about the bazookas? Cisterna is a ruin. Months of bombing and shelling have reduced it to rubble. Piles of stone lines the street, cairns to the houses and shops that once stood there. Seize all objectives, and the men want vengeance. So here we go. Okay, look at how shitty these guys are. Oh my god. Oh, you poor, poor men. So what do we have to do here? Wow. Oh. Well, it looks like stern's all set to go. What do we have here? 8 turns. Silent Bob.
Let's lug that MG!
We gotta rally these guys, Silent Bob.
Hello, cotton balers!
Try not to get killed. Uh-oh. Rally. It's not going to do much for them. Can I bolster these guys?
Captain needs everyone, now!
Rally your men. I don't think that did much. Mortars arc down through the open roofs to explode in the night, churning up dust again the starry sky. Rip of an MG-42 follows. Your scouts report back that the Germans are focusing their defense of Cisterna around a still intact church. If we can take that, we can break them before they break us. Where would that be? Seize this strong point. Okay. I think I want to get the tanks up first. I probably should have. Tank rumbles forward through the ruins, an explosive flash of the undercarriage for a brief moment before blah, blah, blah. Oh, lucky me. Well, so much for my tank. We got another one, though, so. He's out of orders. Okay. Oh, dear. All right. Well, Rao. Got to get you. Let's have you come down here, Rao. Oh, he's not commanding. All right. So there's someone in here. Let's have Stern and his mortar squad. They can't do anything. Awesome. up. Is there anything in here? There is not. No, I want to move everybody. I can't move everybody. Okay. Well, let's get the mortars moved up. Okay. I guess we can move Stern up one. He can take the objective. Bet there's something up there, though. Only Lieutenant Stern. Yeah.
Haltet Sie in Deckung!
All right.
Scheiße!
Scheiße. At least now he can see him. So maybe we can get some mortars on him. Wish I could move this guy. Straight through the center of town, huh? I think we're gonna move Turney next.
Geht zum Lisolmäuschen!
Where is Turney's squad? I think this is that one right there. Yep. And he's with Turney. He's over here. Let's bolster these guys. Get them moving out. Alright, Turney has one more order, but his squad is shot. Let's go with Rao. Let's get him just Rao down here so he can rally his men. Okay. Let's fire on this right here.
Fire!
All right. And then Rao, let's move you up. All right, so it's Thompson's turn. It's our most experienced squad. Let's get just Thompson. Have him come down here. these guys. Start moving his men out. At least some of them. Alright, that's everybody. So far, so good. Alright. Oh, he's got one order left. I'll leave him where he is.
Captain,
What? Alright, 60 millimeter mortars. Drop right here. Alright, let's get the MGs up.
Fire!
Captain. That isn't going to do anything. That's the MG squad here. Let's bolster them. I don't know what that's going to do, though. Let's try this. There we go. That works.
we'll find the best way.
Let's get him. Take command. That's not going to work because they're... Well, I guess I can move a little bit. Oh, my God. Oh. Just first squad. Squad moves forward, an explosion erupts, flash in the night. No one calls for a medic. Mines. Low chance of casualties, high chance of suppression. Heavy suppression. Keep them going. High chance of casualties, low chance of suppression. Send scouts forward. Marking trail with white engineering cloth tape as they go. Thunderclap rings out, sending pieces of them to heaven. All right. There we go. Now we can move. Or Jay can move. I mean... Sorry, Silent Bob. Who's this over here? It's another one of Turney's squads. Where's Turney? Way back here. There we go. All right.
We got work to do.
Los, weiterfeuern!
Let's get rid of this right here. I probably should have had the MG fire on them using J. Well, they don't have any orders anyway. Alright, let's get the tank. Let's rally. Or bolster, sorry. Second tank strikes mine. All right. Move into the house then, I guess. Yep. Is that just a guy? Is that just the guy minus the tank? I think it is. Well, shoot him. Yeah, it's just the guy minus his tank. The tank commander is out there shooting with his pistol. So we lost our armor. There's someone in here.
Deckungsfeuer!
And here.
Das ist ein Heimatschuss! Rosenfeld kaputt!
All right. So I think if I capture this with this group here. There we go. And now I can fire on them. Maybe not. I don't really want to advance them directly out, though.
Minefield!
Oh.
Minefield!
Well, what happened to the white tape there? At least they're blocking Stern, so Stern could still see and we can mortar them. Turney, let's have you bolster your men. Move up. Try and fire on these guys. Okay. All right, Rao. Get him to rallying his men. We gotta get him back now to rally these guys. And unfortunately, they can't do a damn thing. So that was Rao's turn. They surrendered. Oh, my tank guy surrendered. Alrighty. Alright, bolster them. Can they rally, at least? Alright, we'll get them up in the house here. I guess you gotta rally your men. Invalid target. Bolster. Alright, now they can move forward. And this guy can't move because Thompson is out of orders. So, alright, that was turn 2 of 8 in the Battle of Cisterna. We are moving in on the objectives. We are facing heavy German resistance as usual. And success is not guaranteed. We are going to finish this one in the next episode. If you guys have any thoughts, tips, or advice, well wishes for Silent Bob, put them in the comment section down below. If you want to help the video get some exposure with the algorithm and you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to follow along through Burden and Command, hit the subscribe, and we will see you for our next episode where hopefully we can get up the road without losing most of the company and take this churchyard. J76NY saying thank you very much for watching and have yourself a very good day.